CBI's shocking admission that its probe report on Colgate had to be toned down under government duress has created a huge political upheaval. Opposition, as expected, is gunning for the government, which has slipped into damage control mode. Top ministers accused of forcing changes in the CBI's report that was submitted to the Supreme Court were called in for an emergency meeting by the Prime Minister at his residence last evening. Sources tell headlines today that the meeting was called to deliberate and frame the government's response to the latest crisis. Sources say the government is likely to reject charges of toning down of the Colgate report. The pass off, in fact, of the changes were mere suggestions, is what the government is likely to say. The government is most likely to contest that the charges that the CBI is referring to are mere differences of opinion on interpreting policy issues.
Some very serious allegations, sir.
Oh.
Your clarification is of utmost importance. Sir. Sir, would you like to clarify, sir? Would you like to give a clarification?
Sir, if you could just give us one line of...
Just one line, sir. These serious allegations have been leveled against you.
कांग्रेस किस तरीके से इस पे वो कर रही है, क्या रणनीति है आपकी आगे?
जय हिंद।
कांग्रेस किस तरीके से इस पे वो कर रही है, क्या रणनीति है आपकी आगे?
जय हिंद।
Well, it's a time-honored tradition among lawyers not to comment on matters which are sub judice in court. And if I'm instructed properly, the Central Bureau of Investigation has already articulated their position, and we have nothing further either to add or subtract to that.
While accusing the government of trying to use the CBI to cover up the Colgate scam, opposition has launched a scathing attack seeking the law minister's resignation.
तो जो रिपोर्ट सीबीआई की आई उसको देश के कानून मंत्री ने बुलाकर देखा और उसको कहते हैं टोन डाउन किया, हल्का किया। अब इससे बड़ा मुद्दा आपकी गोद में आ सकता है, लेकिन अगर हमें पता ही नहीं होगा कि कोल घोटाला क्या है, प्रधानमंत्री उसके संबंधित मंत्री हैं, सीबीआई की रिपोर्ट इस तरह से कानून मंत्री ने देखी है, तो हम कैसे बहस करें?
CBI cannot go to the root of the matter. CBI cannot find out the truth. And even if some honest officer in the CBI tries to find out the truth, the UPA is a rogue government which will not allow it to operate independently. And that is why the search for truth in the coal scam has now been interfered with. This government wants to dilute its own guilt and that of the persons to whom it was allotted and those who are responsible by interfering in a due process of law.
I have seen reports in today's newspapers that the CBI was called by the Prime Minister's office and by the Law Minister regarding their report on the coal scam. We are very unhappy with this because the coal scam was such a big scam which according to CAG was 1,86,000 crores. We wanted a proper investigation by the CBI monitored by Supreme Court. So if the Law Ministry or PM has interfered anyway in that matter, it is something we strongly protest against. It is unethical, immoral.
Well, we've seen these reports in the media and we think it's a very grave charge, and it's a very, very grave charge that the Law Ministry is intervening to tamper with the CBI investigation, which is taking place under the supervision of the Supreme Court. So this is something that is not permissible. The Parliament session is beginning, we'll take up the matter surely, but the government has to answer whether this is right or wrong, and even if the government answers in the negative, they have to ensure that the probe remains independent under the supervision of the Supreme Court.
तब तक सीबीआई कुछ नहीं